Most of us know how a vending machine works. You type in a code, you pay some money, an item falls out of the machine and into your hands. It's lovely stuff. But the world is diverse and crazy, and things aren't the same everywhere. Yes, that even includes for the vending machine. Whether it be because they have a weird design or the contents are super crazy, some of them can be just plain odd. These are 20 of the strangest vending machines around the world. Number 20. The King's Treasure Box. We're going to begin our journey through the vending machine world in Japan, because while you might think that the United States would be the go-to place for weird vending machines, it's actually Japan that rules the roost. They're the people who will put so many odd things in a vending machine that it will honestly boggle your mind. A great example of that is the King's Treasure Box, a real-life vending machine that you can use to do your Christmas shopping. And I'm not joking here. The man behind the machines came up with the idea of putting small trinkets and items that average a cost of around $10 and sometimes more into various vending machines that he owned around Tokyo. The twist is that the vending machines are actually more like games than anything else. You're going to need to have some luck to get some of the cooler items, but the fact that you have a wide range of things that you can take out is part of the appeal. What's more, as noted earlier, there are some things in these machines that are well above $10 in value. For example, when the machines were first put into use, one of the things you could get was a Nintendo DS. The man behind them often bought items in bulk and even had people coming to him to ask for their items to be put in his machine. He went from having only one machine to have fun with to well over 600 machines and possibly even more by now. Is this really the best place to go to get your shopping done for the family and friends for their gifts? Probably not, but if you're on a budget and don't mind giving some people gifts that they're not expecting, it may well just be the vending machine for you. Before we go on, like this video, smash the subscribe button, and click the notification bell right now, or this centipede will crawl on your face when you're sleeping. Now it's time for the sweet topic. Did you know that somewhere in Portugal there's a vending machine where you can get a pet dog? No, I didn't either. But then I saw this image and it blew my mind. You press the button for the puppy you want, you hand over your cash, and you get a dog. Now, I haven't found any evidence of these things existing, so they may just be rare. I'm going to assume that they're not all that common. Perhaps it's an experiment. If any of you live in Portugal, I would love to know. And as always, you can leave a comment down below using the hashtag #SweetTopic. Number 19. The Art-O-Mat Vending Machine. Now we'll step away from Japan so that we can have a look at another place that has an atypical vending machine. The Art-O-Mat is actually a reconfigured cigarette machine, but instead of dispensing cigarettes, it dispenses pieces of art. This concept is the brainchild of North Carolina-based artist Clark Whittington, and there are now over 100 Art-O-Mats that are all throughout America. Each one is filled with miniature masterpieces created by local artists who can apply to have their work stocked by the machine. Would you like to know why I love this idea? Well, it's because the entire point is not only to promote local artists for wherever the machine may be, but it's also to showcase the beauty of art as a whole. Sometimes motivation for art can come from the most basic of places, and that also includes a vending machine. Plus, since each piece of art only costs $5, you could get multiple pieces, support your local artists, and potentially begin your own artistic journey. Another thing that I love about these machines is that they took over for machines that dished out cigarettes. And if you ask someone what was the healthier option, art or cigarettes, I would hope that they were smart enough to see the truth and say that it was art. So these machines are helping to remove a danger from the world while promoting something artistic, wonderful, and beautiful. Could you imagine if these machines caught on and helped artists all over the world? Imagine the various artists that might be up for helping this and showing off their visions of art and the styles that they've tried to accomplish over the years. It would be wonderful to behold. So, in its own way, you could argue that these machines are works of art themselves. Number 18. Hello Kitty Vending Machine. Alright, the next one should not be too much of a surprise, simply because Hello Kitty is a worldwide brand that has gotten billions of dollars over the years, but because it's also a vending machine that tailors to a certain fan base. To be blunt, I could see these kind of vending machines for basically every kind of major property all over the world: superheroes, video game characters, television shows, movies, and more. Now, it's not about what's inside the machines per se, it's all about getting fans of the properties to buy things from them simply because they're fans and they want something that further connects them to the fan base. While you'll find some of these in Japan, which shouldn't be a surprise, you can also see them in places like Taiwan, Malaysia, and in many other places across Asia. Number 17. Dole Banana Vending Machine. How's that for a surprise? I'm now talking about our first food-based vending machine, and it's one that you likely did not expect. That being bananas. Now, don't get me wrong, bananas are an incredible food and one of the healthiest things that you can eat, but the twist is that you need to buy them when they're ripe and then eat them before they spoil. Sometimes they're so expensive to get, or there's never the right kind when you go to the store. The vending machine in question is in Japan, of course, and it's such a hit since it was brought to the land of the rising sun that it would sell out pretty much every day. That's partially because people there know that these are healthy fruits and that you can get them really fresh inside of the machines. Number 16. Sprinkles Cupcakes Vending Machines. Here's another surprise for the food vending machine world, and it's one that actually has plenty of things going for it. You see, Sprinkles Cupcakes is a brand that's popular in places like California, and they do get a lot of customers. But they can't necessarily go to every place that wants their cupcakes and simply build a bakery. So they did a bit of middle ground and made an ATM that dispenses their cupcakes. Each cupcake is placed inside of an individual box and then placed inside of the ATM. The ATM can hold 400 to 800 of these delicious things, but Sprinkles says that it rarely fills them to the brim, preferring to restock several times per day to make sure that the cupcakes taste fresh. When it was first tested, they were going through almost 1,000 cupcakes per day at times. So yes, they made something popular, and I wouldn't mind to have one of these near my house. Number 15. Book Vending Machine. Here's another vending machine that has a purpose well beyond just being a clever idea. There are multiple countries all over the world who use vending machines to sell books of all kinds to their potential customers. For example, in Singapore, there's a store called Books Actually, and within their book vending machines, they have tales from local authors from a variety of genres. If you move over to Japan, you'll find book vending machines that have manga and comics within them, and in Spain, they have their own spin on it as well, and on it goes. For all these nations, the goal is not necessarily to have a lot of sales via these machines, but instead they want to promote literature in various ways and get people interested in reading. For the Singapore machine's owner, he really wanted to highlight other authors and give readers the chance to expand what they could read. There's another reason why these machines are really cool, and that's the theme of accessibility. Because if you think about it, where would you buy books on the regular? You might go to a massive bookstore or sometimes the library if they offer resold books, or even sections in giant stores like Walmart, but that requires you to go out to the stores and look through the various books and see what they're like, and then debate as to whether or not you should buy them. But here, you can simply go up to the machine, see what they offer, and then make a more instant decision as to what to buy, and then go on and get reading. You're removing a lot of the time, effort, and indecision, and as noted, you might even find books in them that you won't be able to get anywhere else. But my favorite part of it, you don't have to deal with any people. Number 14. Live crabs. Remember the dog one where we couldn't verify whether or not it exists? Well, I promise you that this one does, and it proves that just about anything could be bought from a vending machine if the timing and the market is right. In China, along with certain other locations, there are vending machines where you can buy live crabs. This is actually a thing. Most importantly, it's done in a humane way and such a way that's meant to help out customers. That's because in China especially, hairy crabs are something that people in certain areas of the country buy in great numbers. They absolutely love them when they come into season. and as such, they want nothing more than to get them at all hours of the day when the time is appropriate. But for crab shops, that leaves them with a serious problem. Mainly, they cannot be open 24 hours a day, and when they're not open, they're not feeding those who might work the late shift and want to eat some crab once they get off. And so one owner decided to put a vending machine outside of his shop that is stocked to the brim with live crabs. He restocks it every day and does various things to keep the crabs safe inside. The machine's temperature of 5 to 10 degrees Celsius preserves the crabs in a dormant state. That way they are indeed alive, despite not being very mobile when you meet them. Their packaging is actually the invention of one of the creators of the machine, and it's designed to make the crabs feel safe as though they're in a cave. That way, you don't have to bind them up and potentially harm them inside the machine. Plus, once you buy one, you don't have to take the crab out to cook it. You can simply just drop the container that it's in within the boiling water, and you have your very own stove. Number 13. Beer vending machine. Is this one really that much of a surprise? I mean, think about it. We get drinks like soda and juice from a vending machine at times, so why not beer? Oh, and this is also another wonderful gift from your friends in Japan.
I thought it might not.
But once again, there is a method to the madness. In this case, they're appealing to the salarymen and hard workers of Japan who put in all those long hours and don't want to go to the store in order to get the drinks they want to satiate their thirst. So, going to these vending machines instead is not only simple, elegant, but also convenient. Plus, different brands can make their own machines to highlight their special brews, sakes, and more. As far as we can tell, there is a system to prove that you are of legal drinking age, so I'm glad to see them not being irresponsible about this. Number 12. The CVS vending machine. If you live in the United States, you likely know about CVS and how it's a convenient place to get all kinds of things, not the least of which is medicine for various ailments and needs. These came out in 2017 and would be stocked with more than 70 products, which included over-the-counter medications, beauty products, toiletries, vitamins, first aid, healthy snacks, drinks, and more. It's not hard to see why this idea is such a great move. While it is true that many of these stores are open at all hours, some people just want to get their products and go, and not have to search the entire store for them or wait in a long line. So by cutting out the middlemen, people are more than happy to use these machines and thus bring more customers to the store while not having to be in the store. Number 11. Short story vending machine. Not to be confused with the book vending machine from before, the short story vending machine that was found in places like France was meant to help people who had a simple problem. They were bored on their commute between train stations. The creator of the machines made it so that people could buy a short story that would be able to be read in about 3 to 5 minutes and would help to stimulate people before they had made it to work or when they were on their way home. It's a clever idea and helps the authors to get their work out in a unique way. Besides, who wants to be bored while on the train or have to worry about talking to somebody when you can just be reading a short story instead? Number 10. Sock vending machine. I'll talk now about a very uncomfortable issue, the homeless. No matter what nation you're in, the homeless situation is one that cannot be ignored. Sadly, many people do ignore it because it doesn't bother them or affect them on the grand scale, and that's a sad way of looking at it, and it hurts many as a result. It's not even something like giving them money that can help change their lives. Sometimes it's as simple as giving them a pair of fresh, clean socks so that they have something good to wear. To that end, in Toronto, Canada, a vending machine was made for people to buy socks. A nice assortment is there and things look as they should, but when you read the top of the machine, the truth becomes revealed. If you buy a pair of socks from the machine, you get a free pair to donate to someone else. It's a simple and yet effective idea, and one that's meant to help people donate so that they can see the lives changed in front of them. To be clear, they also have a bin next to the machine to let someone else donate them should they feel uncomfortable doing this personally. But the fact remains, every pair of socks that is bought from that machine is helping someone in need, and that's something to be praised. To be blunt, this is the kind of vending machine that we should have all over the world. Number 9. The underwear vending machine. Now, I'll give you one guess as to where in the world you're going to find this vending machine, and it really shouldn't be that hard to figure out. If you guessed Japan, well, great, a chufty badge for you. Then you're paying attention. And once again, we're not lying, Japan indeed does have a vending machine that will dispense male and female underwear to customers. Welcome to the madness. Now, because of the insanity of this, there are many stories and tall tales about who is actually selling these pieces of clothing and where they came from. For example, it used to be that you could actually get used underwear from these vending machines, but thankfully, the Japanese law has now rendered that impossible. These machines are more of a Japanese gag than a shopping method, but they technically do work as both, so really, who are we to judge? Number 8. Yarn vending machine. This next machine is actually a success story starring Imani Outerbridge, who was a DIY crafter that made her own custom yarn and wanted a way to get it out to the wider community. To that end, she thought outside the box and created a yarn vending machine that houses her products. Not only was it successful on the fundraising circuit, but she was also able to get it into multiple places in Philadelphia. The reason for this machine was also tied to her fellow designers. Not everyone has time to go to the store late at night and get yarn for a project that they're in the middle of. But with these machines, they can get what they need at all hours, proving once again that sometimes you just need to help the people get what they want when they want it. Number 7. Egg vending machine. Here's yet another surprise from the food market, but there are many tales that could be told with this machine. We'll now go to the UK because a farming couple were tired of the loss of profits from selling eggs to supermarkets, and they decided to go directly to the consumer and sell them through an honesty system. People are not very honest though, so they began losing money. That's when they came up with the idea for an egg vending machine. They would put their eggs in various amounts within the machine and then put up a fair price, and they used that to ensure that people paid properly for the products. Now those thieves have egg on their face. Number 6. Pizza. Oh yes, of course I'm going to talk about pizza, and you might be surprised just how well this idea actually works. When you think about pizza, you often don't think about it being done in a few minutes. That is, unless you're talking about a small pizza that you heat up in the microwave. That's just trash, and you should respect yourself more. However, there are certain food chains like Blaze's Pizza that have refined the process to get it done in about 5 minutes. And then there are vending machines that you can find in Rome where you'll be able to pick the pizza that you want to have, and then the machine will cook it in about 3 minutes and for only about $5. Now, this is where things do get kind of funny, because while the concept is not too shabby, the results are going to vary depending on how you like your pizza. First off, the pizza is kind of small, but that's also part of the trade-off, if you will, when you're getting it in 3 minutes. The taste is also going to depend on your palate, and you might want some more toppings than what you'll get. Still though, with some tweaks and refinements, this could be the perfect way to get a pizza if you're in a hurry or you're absolutely starving. Just don't expect a whole lot, because the old adage goes that you get what you pay for. Number 5. French fry vending machine. If you ever talk about why people like fast food, French fries are going to be one of the answers that you get. And yes, you can cook them at home and even get them in various shapes and sizes and even flavors, but there's something about fries from a fast food place that is special, not to mention portable, that people simply adore. And when you go to a machine, some of which are in France, believe it or not, and get some fries in about 90 seconds for only a few bucks, well, that's a risk that you'll likely be willing to take because of how they may taste or even smell. On that note, and unlike the previous entry on this list, apparently the fries taste really good. Some have even referred to this machine as the Rolls-Royce of vending machines, which is some high praise for something like this. And sure, it won't exactly be like the fast food places that you know and love, but sometimes you're just simply not able to be in their range to get the food that you want to enjoy. And if you can get them from a vending machine and in a hurry, then why not? Number 4. Umbrella vending machine. Imagine this. You're walking home from school or work or a date, and a downpour suddenly takes place. You're getting wet, and you have a long way to go before you even reach home. You don't have an umbrella on you. So what are you supposed to do? Well, it's simple if you're in Japan. You simply get an umbrella from the nearby vending machine. That's right, they have them in Japan, and while they may feel like a thing that you only need once kind of deal, it's better than being drenched in the rain while you try and get to where you need to go. And after everything that you've seen so far, vending machines are designed to be there for those with an immediate need, so you shouldn't really laugh at this one too much. Number 3. Cannabis vending machine. Are you really all that surprised by this next entry? I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of surprised, and yet you just have to realize that it's a real thing in the world and could grow in numbers as certain nations begin to wean off of their restrictive laws that surround marijuana. In Colorado, Boulder-based cannabis company Terrapin has installed ACEs, Automated Cannabis Experience, at its Aurora store, and it's exactly what I told you that it was, a vending machine for cannabis, and believe it or not, they were the first to do it. Specifically, it was the first one on the market to fully package, live label, and dispense cannabis products while meeting or exceeding the compliance requirements. That's important because the last thing that the customers need to fear is having any legal issues from buying from a vending machine. Equally as important, it's not as simple as just buying the marijuana. You'll need to scan your card that says that you're allowed to buy it and then follow certain instructions on the screen. Part of the reason for the machine was to help customers who know what they want and need, and thus they can get in and out quicker while allowing newer users to consult with the people inside for their needs. With the US lightening restrictions on cannabis in various ways, this very well could become a machine that is the wave of the future, something that no one could have predicted even a decade ago. Number 2. Gold vending machine. Here's another one that you may think is a joke, but it's absolutely not, and it's not in Japan for once. It's actually in Singapore. At the Singapore International Coin Fair in 2017, PureGold.sg launched Asia's first gold ATM machine. This machine dispensed pure gold in using credit cards, debit cards, and even cryptocurrencies, which definitely was a progressive move given how crypto was looked at during that time period. Regardless, the idea of getting gold from a vending machine is a very unique thing and something that many might be weary of, but it was the real deal. They had many gold bars that were labeled with the logo of Singapore, and you could get them from any of the ATMs that the company had. While it sounds weird in the modern age, there was a time when gold was the way that business was handled, and it wasn't until later that paper money came into play and changed how everyone viewed monetary wealth. Still though, it might be a while before these kinds of machines are seen worldwide. Number 1. People Picks vending machine. Japan, is there really nothing that you won't put into a vending machine? Given about the ones that I've already told you about, the answer by now should be an emphatic no. Anyways, I'll end this list in Japan because just when you think you've figured out everything that they could put into these machines, they go and showcase something even more strange. In this case, in Tokyo, there is a capsule toy vending machine that doesn't give you toys, it just gives you pictures of random people from Japan. Why? Well, it may not be for the reason that you think. Its creator made this during the pandemic when everyone was wearing masks, so he felt that these ID photos of other people would be a fun way to see them without having to get close to them. It does sound kind of ridiculous, but people actually latched onto the idea and even enjoyed the gacha game style that Japan adores. So thus, the machine has done quite well. The creator is even thinking of using models for round 2. That's all from the realm of vending machines and the various odd things that people have put in them over the years. Or are you shocked to see the kind of vending machines that exist all over the world? And are you amazed and intrigued that people see these kind of machines every day? What kind of vending machine would you like to see one day? Be sure to let me know all about it in the comments section down below. Check out the other cool things that are showing up on the screen, and I'll see you next time. I love you.